Survivor Now podcast.
I was busy on the beach, like I was on Survivor.
I don't believe anything you say on Survivor. I almost called.
It's now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no!
I do love you, but
Oh, it's so wrong.
I gotta go. I got something to do. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but.
welcome back to the Survivor Now pre-show where we are getting ready for episode 10 of Survivor 49. My name is Ollie and today I am joined, as always, by the lovely Tori. Tori, how are we?
I'm doing well. I am on fall break currently because, as we were saying before, we hopped on live. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I'll be celebrating with family, and I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
Can't wait. I mean, we always love, this is a full American holiday, so
It is.
Americans, I hope you have a lovely week of Thanksgiving. Don't know what it's like, but I'm going to be enjoying my week. Obviously, we have got a lot to talk about. We had episode 9 happen, and we've got episode 10 tonight. But before we do that, we just want to remind everyone to like and subscribe. So make sure if you haven't already. And before we do any of that as well, we've got an icebreaker. And for once, I'm not doing the icebreaker. It's Tori. So I'm going to do this for 2 seconds.
Yes. Okay, so I get to break some ice today. And Ollie, I think you're really going to like this. I'm excited to give you the night off, and I'm excited to hear what your answers are going to be. Okay, so it's going to be similar to when Ollie asked me to recast some of the players that are going to be on Survivor 50. But for this one, we're going to go back in time. So we're going to hop in our time machine, travel back a few years, and I want you to pretend that you are on the casting team for Heroes versus Villains, and you need to take out 4 players and replace them with other players. Now, obviously, there are a couple rules here. One is that I need you to replace 2 players from the original hero tribe and 2 players from the original villain tribe. And then obviously, this goes without saying, but it has to be players only from seasons 1 through 19.
Yeah.
So obviously, we can't pretend like a player that played in like season 22 played before that. So that is not a thing here. And then also, I decided just to make it a little easier, since I am putting you on the spot, I decided that there's no like gender rules. So meaning you don't have to like replace 2 men and 2 women or vice versa, whatever. It can be like 4 women or 3 women and 1 man or something like that.
Oh,
okay.
Tribe. It just has to be 2 per tribe. So, Ollie, are you ready?
I guess so. I'm actually going to have to write them down because I'm going to have to think. I've already got one definitely.
I love writing your stuff down. So, do you want me to go first with one of my picks?
Go on then.
Okay, perfect. So, I'm actually going to start with the hero tribe. And maybe people in the chat, let me know, because there are a couple where I was like between 2 people. So if you're listening in the chat and you feel like telling me like who out of those 2 options would be better, feel free to write that in the chat. And Ollie, you can weigh in on that too. So this first one, I had kind of like 2 options. So the person I'm going to take out from the heroes tribe is Candace. And I originally said that I would replace her with our OG queen, Colleen, from season 1, Borneo. Or Kim Powers from Africa, which is like a lesser known name. I do think she was such like an underrated player and we don't talk about her enough. And I personally would have loved to have seen her play again. And I think that she's one of those players that if given the chance to play again, she could have been like a much more heavily discussed player. You know what I mean? So anyway, that was mine. So I think I'm going to go with Colleen for now, but people in the chat, if you have strong feelings towards Kim, go ahead and type that in. Or if you have somebody else that you think I should replace, not even those 2, go ahead and say that. So Ollie, do you want to go back and forth on this, or do you want me to kind of like?
No, yeah. We can go back and forth.
Let's do it.
I have got my first pick, and I feel like I'm like, okay. So I'm going to take this from the villains.
Okay.
And I'm going to take out Randy. Randy can go. Randy needs to go. And I'm going to replace Randy. Oh. See, I had one person on here, and I don't have, like, I've got two options. Okay, I've got two options.
Interesting.
But I'm going to pick one of them just because I may have another pick that is a male. So I'm going to go with John Carroll from Marquesas.
I'm obsessed. I was just talking about John Carroll on TikTok yesterday. Everybody go
There
watch
you go. I mean, kind of one of the OG villains. Like, he really wasn't afraid to kind of like say it how it was. And it's like,
Yes.
when I look at the cast, I'm like, right, we need a bit more like diversity, maybe from like the LGBT side of things.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with John Carroll.
Okay, I'm obsessed with that first option. And I'm so sad, let me just say, that John Carroll has not played again. He was honestly such a good player. Marquesas was stacked. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
But okay, I actually also said I would take out Randy. And so the person that I said I would insert in Randy's place was Shane from season 12.
Panama.
Which would be interesting. I mean, I feel like we had a lot of characters already on villains. So one more like major character might have been like overkill, but I think he could have been entertaining.
Oh god, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, who are you? Wait, sorry. Yeah, Shane, Randy and Tim, right? Okay.
Yes.
See, I've got one, and it's gonna be controversial.
Okay.
But hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
I'm taking out Amanda Kimmel.
You're trying to get me
because there is so many fans versus favorites that we need to take some of them out.
Okay, fair.
So I know what you're going to say after I make this pick. So it's going to make sense of who my third pick will be. But I'm going to replace them with Taj from Token Jeans.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that replacement. Like, I love Taj. She was on my Babes and Buffs tribe.
Yeah.
But the taking out of Amanda, ooh, that's rough.
Sorry about it. Sorry about it.
I might accept your apology. I haven't decided yet. We're gonna see. Okay, we'll take it though. We'll take it. Okay, this is another one that the chat can weigh in on. So I'm also kind of going back and forth between heroes and villains, if you haven't guessed or seen that yet. But the original one that I wrote down was take out Sugar and either put in Kathy from Marquesas, who was also on All Stars, or Jamie from China could have been interesting in Sugar's place. So blonde Jamie, yeah. I thought that could have been interesting. Or if we're going the male route, if we're going to kind of like go with a man from Heroes, just since I already took out a woman from Heroes. So that was the original thing that I wrote down. And then I was like, hold on a second. There's another person I really would have liked to have seen on the Heroes tribe. So this one, okay, Colby has my heart. He was like my original Survivor crush. But I think we can all agree that his performance on Heroes versus Villains was a little bit disappointing. Let's just be real. I still love him, still obsessed, still totally like rooting for him on Twitter. Just I'll say that. But I said I would maybe take out Colby and put in Ian from Palau.
Okay, yeah, I see the vision.
Yes. So that was like my other option if I, was to take out a man instead of a woman, like not take out Sugar and instead take out a man. So anyway, chat, weigh in on that if you have any strong feelings or if you think that all of those options are trash.
Have I still got my third pick now? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, you know how I said I was like, I'm going to take out Amanda to put in another. Obviously, that now leaves 4 people from Token Jeans. So one of them is going. And I'm actually going to take out Tyson. Okay. Just because I do feel like, look, as much as I'm not a fan of Coach, he was the villain. Yes. JT was definitely a hero, sure. Yes. Not gonna lie though, I'm struggling who to take Tyson out and put who to replace Tyson with. I'm just going back through the seasons to be like, right, okay. Do you know what? This might be a left field pick, but it kind of does make sense. And I really hope there's no drama with this person. This is going to be so awkward if there is. My knowledge from Fiji, I'm going with Dreams.
Interesting. Okay.
But obviously, like when it comes to being a villain, like he went back on his word. He went back on his word multiple times. He literally lied to every single person, and I feel like it'd be a very interesting kind of dynamic because his gameplay was villainous, but I don't perceive him as like a proper villain. I feel like he would feel really misplaced. So I feel like that'd be a really interesting dynamic on the villains tribe. Because when you look at the crux of his game, he went back on his word when it came to Yao Man. There was multiple times he was like because he was gonna go with the boys before then they all got blindsided. Credit to Stacey Kimball. And so like he really was like just lying to everyone, and it kind of showed in the jury when it came to Final Tribe Council. Yes. So that's that. I'm gonna go with that. Tyson out, Dreams in. I know.
Okay, I don't hate it. I honestly don't hate it. I mean, obviously, like he fits the bill for the villains. Like he was despicable, like what he did to Yao Man. Everybody was obsessed with Yao Man, and for him to go back on his word like that, jail. So yeah, I don't hate it on the villains tribe. Okay, you and I have like a similar villain. You and I have a similar vision for the villains tribe. It sounds like because we both took out Randy. And then I also had down, so this is another one I had two options, okay? So another one that I wrote down was take out Tyson. And I was also struggling with who to replace Tyson with.
Yeah.
I ultimately said put in Burton from Pearl Islands, who wasn't like that villainous.
Yeah.
But he was kind of like, talking some trash about the other players. He was like, he came back with a vengeance, from the outcast tribe. I think he kind of had that villain flair. And I personally love Pearl Islands so much.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And let me just say, like, not that I dislike Tyson at all, but similar to Colby, like his performance on Heroes Villains was disappointing. And we obviously saw him come back and he totally like redeemed himself with a win later. But yeah, I just said that I would take out Tyson. Another one that I wrote down, and I think I just like really want to see this person again. And she was an alternate for this season, but not for the person that I'm going to take out. So I said, and I personally wouldn't really want to remove this person from the villains cast anyway, but I had said I would take out Danielle and put in Natalie Bolton.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I definitely would, and that was kind of the thinking as well. I was like, if I take Amanda out, then maybe I can take one of the female villains out and put Thing in, but then I'm just like replacing.
Right. Yeah, it's a tough one because I do like all the women in the cast in general, but especially on the villains tribe, were very strong. So it's hard to take out a woman and replace her with a villain.
Oh god, female villain ones were just perfect.
Amazing, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
my last pick. I'm going to take out Candace from the Heroes.
Okay.
And I had two options. One of them I'm like, I can't really. One of them was Amy Cusack, just because I love Amy Cusack. Yeah. I'm like, Vanuatu, not really, was a villain. Micronesia, you could say she was a hero. I definitely think she was like,
yeah, you could say hero.
But that's just because I love Amy Cusack, so I'm like, just pick her. The other choice I had, and again, this is going to be a left field one, but I'm replacing a blonde with a blonde. I'm going with Heidi from the Amazon.
Love.
Yeah. I was like, go with Heidi. I just feel like she's kind of been adored. It was because there was a couple of people on the Heroes. The reason they're heroes is just because they're adored. I feel like Heidi was adored, and I would just love to see that dynamic. So yeah, that's my pick. Those are what I'm looking at.
Okay, I like that. I like all of your options. And again, it sounds like we had kind of a similar vision on like who we would remove. Not that we like dislike those players, but it seems right. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Do you want to see what people in the chat have said? Because the chat have been joining in as well. So Kashia said take out James and Sugar and then replace them with Rafe from season 11 and Ken, which good choices. I was thinking Rafe for one of the heroes, and I was like, who would I replace him with?
Yes.
And then you have State Net saying they were going to go with Shane Powers. They also agree that they were shocked that T-Bird has never played again. I was thinking there. Also, Tashia said for the villains, he would have taken out Danielle and Jerry Manthe and added Shane Powers and Johnny Fairplay. Now, I'm not getting rid of Jerry Manthe for anything.
No, never.
Like, no, absolutely.
I mean, it's an interesting thought, but that's a no.
Yeah. And I know she was one of the mean girls with Jenna, but get over it.
Sometimes it's also okay, honestly, some of the heroes though are only heroes because of kind of like the way that they talk or like the way that they present themselves in a way, like kind of like what you're saying about Amy. Like Amy isn't like 100% a hero, but she has like this like sweet voice, like she comes across really kind. And yeah, I mean, Amanda did some villainous things too, but she was on Heroes and like, you know.
Perfect example. JT was not fully a hero. We all remember that final tribal council speech, and we've seen what he was like in confessionals. But because he was so adored, he was considered a hero. Same with Tom Westman. Like he berated.
Oh my God, yeah.
Berated Ian, and it's like you're calling that a hero.
Yeah, and he strong armed some people. Like I love Tom. I love his win. But we did a rewatch of that over the summer, and yeah, he kind of like strong armed some people into kind of like voting with him or not voting against him, kind of thing. And yeah, so that was a little villainous, you know. So yeah, I totally see like the line between hero and villain becomes a little bit blurry at times, and that's what makes this so fun.
Very true. But that was fun.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
I did. I feel like we're going to do that like during the off season or like next year. That'll be one of the things like recast every season.
Okay, I kind of love that. Like we should do like a little series, I think.
It's been stamped. We know what we're doing.
Obsessed. I'm there.
But Tori, thank you for that. Loved it. But obviously we've got to move back to Survivor 49. Obviously we have got episode 10 coming up in just under 40 minutes time, or just over 40 minutes time. So let's get on with the pre-show to get hyped. So obviously we had last episode. So let's kind of just quickly break down last episode. Was there any big takeaways or kind of like things that you saw from last episode that you were like, ooh, or like, what was your highlight?
So obviously I'm still mourning the loss of our Alex. I really loved Alex. And so yeah, I guess that was sort of like a highlight, but in a negative way. I mean, seeing Alex, seeing more of him, but unfortunately it didn't end well for Alex, as we all know. And yeah, I guess like one sort of thing that I was sort of thinking about, like in my mind, Alex can basically do no wrong. Like I think he's amazing and super nice and did a really good job at the game, especially being dealt the hand of the disaster tribe in the beginning. But I would have liked to have seen him maybe do a couple villainous things if we're talking villains, meaning like he had the information of Christina's idol, for example, and he knew that his name was being tossed around. So why not, if you're Alex, go back to the Rizzo, Savannah, Sophie of it all and be like, yo, just so you know, Christina, she found an idol. I was with her. She's holding on to it. And then their focus is now off Alex. Now they kind of even have Alex as a number. I was really rooting for him to do something like that. I mean, he did his best. He was going out to groups, but that was something I was personally thinking about and kind of wanting to see.
Yeah, I feel like I can understand that, but then in the same breath, I'm kind of like, only because Rizzo was gunning for Alex. So it was like, Alex could have done everything under the sun, and I feel like Rizzo would have been like, no, I want this person out. So heroic, by the way. Because everyone kept going like, Rizzo's such a hero. I'm like, no, he's not. But like, I feel like in that breath, he was trying so hard to play the middle. So I mean, I think playing the middle fabulously, he could have gone to the other side to be like, look, Christina's got the idol, which would have been good at playing the middle. But I think where Rizzo was so gung-ho on him, whatever Alex said would have gone straight back to the other side. So it's kind of like he was kind of, yeah. What struck me this episode, and we've just talked about him, how has this man kept his public idol not being played for 3 rounds now. It is insane. Like, great gameplay from it. Like, no shade there, but I'm just like, how?
I don't know. He's kind of like, you know how Parvati has like some sort of like magical power over people? He kind of has that over people. Like he'll say something and he doesn't even really seemingly have to try that hard to like convince people to do what he wants. Like they just do it. And it's amazing to watch, honestly. He's doing a fabulous job. I mean, personally, if I'm on the jury, he's my front runner. If I'm seeing all of this go down and I know he's holding on to an idol, I think that if I'm watching all of this on the jury, I'm just like shaking my head, but I'm like, I have to vote for Rizzo if he gets to the end. At least that's where my mind is at now. I don't know. You seem to disagree. What do you think?
I would be on the fence only because obviously us Survivor fans, we kind of look a little bit more and we listen to what they're saying and take that into account. That there's a reason the edit has shown us this. And it was when Christina, Stephen, and Sophie S were all talking. And they were saying when they wanted to go for Rizzo, I think it was Stephen that said first, like, he's getting a bit too cocky with his idol. Like, if he gets too cocky, he then goes home with it. And I think there's a reason they've put that in the edit. Because I do feel like the longer Rizzo continues to hold this idol, I think he's going to come across cocky. And I like, because again, this is no shade to young people. He is like 24, 23 or something. Like, he's going to feel confident in that. And he's going to feel really like Billy Big bollocks. And I think if he's got a slightly older like than him jury, it's not going to resonate with them. So I could see that being a bit of a downfall for him. So it will be interesting to see how he plays it.
That is true. I think I want to say you weren't a part of this conversation, I don't think, because I think we said it on the after show last week. And we were kind of saying, like, listen, like, he has been holding on to this idol, kind of like dangling it in front of people. But if he dangles it for too long, it's going to kind of like be counterproductive in a way. So I do see what you're saying. And personally, it depends like how the person is coming off. I do think that Rizzo kind of has a way about him of saying things in a way that doesn't feel like offensive, even if he's saying something like not nice or saying like, hey, like I'm voting for you or like I'm against it, like whatever. Even if he's like saying he's against your people, to me, like he doesn't feel disrespectful. So I don't know if that also is like playing into it. Like him holding on to the idol just doesn't feel as sort of like cocky as it could feel with other people. However, what you're saying is very interesting. Like I do think that it coming from a 25 something, 20, like a mid 20 something is different than it coming from like an older person. So there's also that aspect of it all.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, generational gap. An interesting comment from Tashia is Blue Sophie will steal Rizzo's idol and both Sophie Squared, I'm going to call them, will take out Rizzo and Savannah. That would be epic.
That's amazing.
I think I could see that becoming a possibility if Rizzo continues just to hold it. Because if he just continues to hold it, I think all it's going to take is for Rizzo to be like too cocky about it. And I again, Sophie B can easily sit there and go, thank you. States Net has just put something interesting. I heard the theory that Sophie B plays her advantage and takes Christina's idol. This is why the jury's jaws drop. I think the shocking move would be to take Rizzo's idol and vote him out. Agreed. I mean, clearly this episode is going to be something dramatic happens. Do I think it has something to do with Sophie B's knowledge power? Absolutely.
Yes.
And I feel like the edit is kind of like basing it off being Christina's idol, because obviously they haven't really heavily featured Christina, sadly. So I could see that being the case. What do you think about that theory? I know we're kind of going into next episode's territory, which is fine. We can kind of start to go in there. But what do you think?
Yeah, all good to start talking about next episode. I mean, I've been saying for the past week or two that I think this is going to be the week that Sophie B is going to play her advantage. But I do think it must happen this week because this is kind of like her do or die moment. This is her moment to get finally into the majority and like kind of like take her to the end of the game. And if she doesn't play it this week, she really is going to run out of time. Like it's going to get to the point where she's maybe lost her opportunity, or maybe not lost her opportunity, but lost the opportunity to really kind of like wow the jury with this move and to play it sort of like correctly, if that makes sense. So I do think you're right. And I do think that the person in the chat that said this is correct in saying that. I do think that she's going to use her advantage. Now, as a jury member, I guess I'll ask you this, Ollie, because I'm personally not even sure. Like, as a jury member, are you hoping for Sophie to play this advantage on Rizzo? Like, would you be less impressed, basically, if she played it on Christina?
I mean, I would be impressed in the sense of, like, the jury has no idea about Christina's idol, unless Alex has gone and told her. And under that pretense, Alex believes the only people that know about Christina's idol is himself, Steven, and Christina. So, I mean, in that sense, it would be a bigger shock because obviously it would be like looking at Sophie B's social game to be like, how has she been able to find out that information? I do think taking Rizzo's idol would be a bigger move if then the consequence became Rizzo or someone close to Rizzo went home. Because obviously it's a very public idol. They know, and because the perception of the jury is Sophie B and Rizzo are close. So it makes the most sense. So I feel like it has to be something. I mean, hold on. Here we go. Ashia. In the sneak peek, apparently it was Sage telling Juwan about Christina's idol. If that is the case, Christina's idol is doomed because Juwan's going to tell everyone because that man cannot keep a secret. Love you to pieces, Juwan. You cannot keep a secret.
That is true. Love you. You've been so entertaining. But yeah, I don't see that secret being kept. I would agree. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I personally, like, yes, I'm looking. Obviously, nobody knows about Sophie's advantage. But as a jury member, if I'm like going to see an advantage like this being used, I want it to be used against the power player. Yeah. That's what would wow me and what would really kind of like sell me on Sophie's game. Because a lot of people have been saying, and I kind of disagree with this. So I guess maybe I'd love to hear your take too, Ollie. But a lot of people are saying that while Sophie B is playing a very strong game, and everybody knows I'm a total Sophie B defender, I will root for her till the very end. I think that she's gonna win, or she's been my winner pick since day one. But a lot of people are saying that like the jury doesn't really know about her game. Like she's playing sort of like a quiet, good game. I sort of disagree with that because like everybody knows that she had to like work her way out of being like the target in every single vote in the early stages of the game because her tribe was the disaster tribe. So getting out of those votes to me is really impressive. Like for her to get to this stage in the game, like she's the only one that was able to do that. Like it's not an easy thing. While the other players didn't have to do that. They didn't have to go through as many tribals, etc. So to me, that alone is very impressive. And now she's worked her way in with the Power Alliance. So to me, like I think she's playing a stronger game than people are giving it credit for. But what do you think, Ollie? Is she playing too quiet to actually win?
This is the thing. I think she is kind of, because you've got people like Rizzo, like Savannah, who are more kind of big, bold players, she is able to hide behind them. And I do think right now the jury are kind of seeing that. But I do think the jury are smart enough to kind of sit there and realize if Sophie is able to kind of, if she was to make a final tribal council and give all these points that, you know, credits to her game, I could see the jury going, okay, no, that makes sense. Because obviously being an entrepreneur, I feel like she is someone, and we've seen it in the season, she's a really good speaker. I think she is someone that is really good at communicating. So I could easily see her showcasing her game and the jury going, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, got you. Not a case of, because this is my gripe, when someone is basically telling the truth, but because they didn't see it, the jury acts like it didn't happen. And I'm like, just because none of you can corroborate it does not mean it didn't happen. You just weren't that great at being social.
Exactly. No, that's very true.
Sorry, that was such a dig to so many people. But it's true.
Whatever.
But yeah, I definitely think we could see stuff going on there. Okay. Should we take a quick break? And then we're going to get into the crux of tonight's episode and kind of make our predictions on who might go home, what we think any like kind of twists or turns are going to happen, and all that good stuff. So let's hear from our friends at Bracketology, because remember, if you haven't already, make sure you get your picks ready for the league tonight. So we're going to hear from them, and then we will be right back.
Welcome to Bracketology, fantasy sports for reality TV. Bracketology provides fantasy football and bracket-style games for Survivor and 33 other reality TV and award shows. We offer free-to-play, season-long fantasy games for Survivor across 4 different game types, ranging from a March Madness-style bracket to weekly elimination confidence pools, and finally to a fantasy football-style game where you draft a team of contestants each week. Depending on what they do and say during the episode, based on a predetermined list of rules, is how they earn or lose points. You can create and join a public league, like the Survivor Now League, or you can create private leagues with your friends. Make sure to check back in after the episode to see how your teams did. In addition, Bracketology also offers daily fantasy pools. Utilizing 2 in-app currencies, coins and bucks, users can enter pools with either currency, answering a slew of multiple choice questions about what they think will happen during the episode, or about other related Survivor or other pop culture news and contests. The top 25% of point scorers in each currency will receive a split of the prize pot. Play with coins for fun to climb the social leaderboard, or play with bucks for your chance to earn real cash prizes. Download the Bracketology app for free today. Good luck.
Because we have got our league going, and I can say I looked at it tonight, and once again, son of a bitch is literally winning again. This is Logan. Logan won last year, or last season, won the season before as well. Could he make a hat trick? I will say he is tied for first. So there is him and one other person that are tied for first, so anything to play for. Just before we get onto everything, just going to show the chat because they kind of made some comments. Diary of Discory, and I really hope I've said that correctly, goes, I think Sophie B's story itself is very strong. Tashuya has said, I think Sophie B is another 48 Eva. They are going to drag her to the end and she'll get 0 votes. I mean, technically, Eva did get 2 votes.
We got a couple. Runner up.
And then Sheila has said, Sophie Brolin will beat Savannah in the end because she is more likable. Plus, she'll have the knowledge is power play tonight. I mean, it begs the question then. Because obviously we think Sophie B's knowledge is power is coming into play tonight. I mean, the first question comes to you, Tori, is do you think it is definitely coming out tonight? And then what are your kind of theories? What do you think is going to happen with it?
I do think that it's going to come into play tonight because, as I said earlier, I think it's getting to the point for Sophie that if she doesn't play it tonight, she risks kind of losing her chance to play it in sort of a jaw-dropping way. She wants to really sort of drop this bomb on people, and she needs to be able to do that before it's too late. And she also doesn't want to go home with it in her pocket by accident. Yeah. So I do think that it's coming into play tonight. Unfortunately, while I would like to see it played on Rizzo, I'd love to see her sort of flip and do that and get him out. That would be the biggest power move of all. I do think that she's going to play it against Christina. So I think she's going to get Christina's idol.
So here is my question to you. And I starred this from Diary of Discory earlier. Any guesses as to how Sophie B finds out about Christina's idol? Because I feel like this is definitely a theory we can talk about. Because if she's got options, then I want to know why. So what do you think makes Sophie B find out about Christina's idol?
That's a great question. And honestly, anything could happen. We even saw Sophie earlier in the season sort of eavesdropping on, I guess, Jeremiah and Alex when they were trying to figure out what to do. So we know she's sneaky. We know she listens to conversations. So it could be something even like that. Somebody could be talking a little bit too loud. But I think more than likely, we kind of already said it earlier. I think that Jawan, just being that he has these sort of connections to everybody, he's not really working with one specific group. He's kind of just bouncing around. I do think that the information is going to come from Sage to Jawan and then from Jawan back to Sophie B. Because the other thing about Sophie B's game that we didn't really mention earlier, and that I think is a credit to Sophie, is that like she, while it's clear to a viewer, to like from a viewer's perspective, it's clear that she's working with Rizzo and Savannah. However, all these people are divulging all this information to her still. Like she went up to like a couple, I think, different people last week, and they told her the exact plan, like without even hesitating. So I mean, for her to still have that sort of like connection with people, I think that it might be easier than we think for her to get the information. Like somebody might just straight up tell her without even letting it slip by accident. So all to say, my answer is not super clear because I don't really know, but I think more than likely it'll come somehow from Juwan. What do you think?
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I'm just going to show Zyphon's thing. He goes, I assume Sage tells Juwan, Juwan tells Rizzo, Rizzo tells Sophie B. So, yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, Sheila also agrees, thinks Juwan will tell Rizzo. I do feel like, it just could come naturally to Sophie B. Because, I mean, the edit has shown that, like you said, she's able to gather information because it was like, obviously, Savannah told her straight away about the extra vote. She got told straight away when Rizzo had his idol, obviously pre-merge. Like she was getting a lot of the information. So I could naturally see her being told. I do like this theory though from Diary of Dioscuri. I kind of think Christina is going to mention it at Tribal, which I think would be I think that would, if that was to happen and then Sophie B go, thank you. I think that would be absolutely iconic.
That would be
What? May would be there going, write this down. This is great for a screenplay.
Oh obsessed.
But yeah, I could see something like that happen because it is dramatic. And to be fair, I feel like we really are going to see from the sneak peeks, like, if Christina's not going to have a fun time this episode. Because obviously we are kind of seeing her be quite emotional at the reward. What that may be, I don't know yet. But something's going to happen. And Zan, what did you miss? Just a lot of us talking and just theorizing stuff. Nothing too important. Yeah. What do you think about Christina's idol? But I definitely could see that. I mean, there is part of me that I really want Sophie B to steal Rizzo's idol. And it could be because this is something we haven't mentioned. Sage and Juwan are basically the people playing the middle. And they've made a very big move against people that they were aligned with, mainly Stephen, who was in their bottoms up alliance. So obviously you had Alex, Christina, and Stephen who did not vote correctly last round. I could see something happening that really throws Juwan and Sage under the bus because they really have kind of just fully played the middle, and it's like you're playing the middle with people who you haven't trusted and clearly don't trust you. So I remember thinking this last week, and I forgot to mention it and got something for you. I do think Juwan and Sage made a really bad move getting rid of Alex.
Yeah.
Because it's like, the devil, I know the devil, but you know that these people don't trust you. And in a game of Survivor, why are you keeping people you don't think is trusting? So I could see whatever happens tonight, I could see it backfiring on Juwan or Sage. Possibly Juwan, I would say more so.
Yeah, I do think, it's been kind of a long time coming for Juwan. Like I think he's been playing better than people are giving him credit for. However, it does appear a bit sloppy at times. And I think he's gotten a little bit lucky in certain situations. And then I think he's just sort of like flipped to like a certain side at the right time. And he's sort of just like made the right call, which speaks to his gameplay, of course. But I do think his time is limited. And I think that his time is coming. So yes, I do think that you're correct about that.
Yeah. I need to find the comment because everyone's just chat, you're doing great. Here it is. Zyphon says, this episode title is Huge Dose of Bamboozle. So would assume something crazy happens. That makes me think that obviously the craziness could stem from obviously Sophie B trying taking an idol. But I also feel like the great big bamboozle could be that there is someone that knows this is going to happen and then is actually blindsided because everything was correct until the vote came out and then they got voted out. That's what I could see being a big bamboozle. I could see, because we're all assuming they take Christina's idol and Christina or even Stephen go. That feels like that is kind of like, okay, you're like, it makes sense. The big move would be they steal Christina's idol and they blindside someone else. Someone else gets blindsided who is in this like majority vote or something. That's what I could see. I would love to see something like that. Do you think anything like that could happen tonight?
It's really hard to say because I still do think, while he's lost a little bit of his momentum, I still do think that people view Steven as like a major power player and has just been like a really good strategist, but still at the same time, like under the radar, making good connections. But again, it's not like all in your face. Yeah. I think that he's like playing actually this really good game. So I do think that the other players might be obviously like still thinking about that and knowing that they need to get rid of him sooner rather than later. But I do think that part of me still thinks that while that is true, Christine is also a power player because she was sort of trying to rally the troops last week to get rid of Rizzo finally. Like she's like, let's finally do this. Like, let's split the vote. Yeah. Like figure this thing out and just sort of like put it to bed. And so I really liked seeing that from Christina. But so like for that reason and among other reasons, I think that she's also a power player. So I think that it might end up being straightforward in the sense that if her idol gets taken, they will get rid of her. I also think that if her idol gets taken and they don't vote her out, like she will come back to camp with a vengeance and she's going to do everything in her power to get another idol, like win, like do every possible thing that she can to make sure that she is not the next vote, which I don't think that they're going to want. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I feel like it's not that I don't want to predict what's going to happen, but I do want to kind of not just pigeonhole myself into thinking it's going to be this way, because I feel like the thing with Survivor is it does sometimes flip. I know that there have been some things this season and kind of in recent seasons that have been very expected, and it's like we are kind of figuring stuff out. But I do also think people will be surprised. So
yes,
I don't know. I really don't know. There is a comment I do just want to pull up because I was reading it and I thought it was very prominent. And it's from Tashiya. And it's actually this. And I noticed this because it stemmed from MC being voted out and mentioning obviously not wanting to have 2 POCs go back to back. Now we've had 3 POCs go back to back to back. Obviously, if Christina or Jawan go tonight, will there be backlash? I think there will be. And I think, I hope it is not malicious towards the players, because obviously when it comes to Survivor, like there is a lot of game strategic element going on. But I definitely hope it opens that conversation, because I definitely think that conversation is still prominent. And again, as MC said, you think right back to season 42, and Drea's really powerful, Drea and Marianne's very powerful statements at Tribal Council. Like, I would hope that continues on. So definitely looking at that. And trust me, Tashiya, if that does happen tonight, I will be bringing it up and got something for you. So don't you worry.
Yeah, we will be talking about it for sure.
We will. Right. Okay. We are 15 minutes away. So I know we said like we can't really predict anything. Let's say what we think our most likely scenario is going to be tonight. What do you think most likely is going to happen tonight, Tori?
I think more than likely, and this isn't even really that straightforward because it does involve Sophie B's use of her advantage that nobody knows about. But I do think that more than likely, and this isn't necessarily what I would like to see happen, but I think more than likely she's going to steal Christina's idol after the information somehow gets leaked to her. How that happens, I'm not really sure. And I do think I think Steven's name will come up this episode, because why haven't they been trying to target him more? I don't know. Like, he's such a good player, and he won. Well, obviously he won immunity last week. So obviously his name wasn't going to come up then, but I do think that his name will be in the talks, but ultimately it's going to be Christina for reasons that I've already brought up. Let me also just say, like, it really like pains me to see players like Christina at this stage in the game sort of like look deflated, knowing that their plan that was a good plan isn't going to come to fruition. Like, we kind of saw that. It's not really the same thing, but in a way we kind of saw that last season with Mitch. Like, he saw that his game wasn't the game that he wanted to be playing. And we sort of saw him like shut down in a way. Like, he became a lot quieter. Like, you could see it in his face that he wasn't like very happy with how things were sort of playing out for him. And I do feel like I kind of saw that on Christina's face last week. Like, she wanted to get this plan going. I think it was clear to her already at like once she walked into tribal council that this wasn't going to happen. So I do feel bad because it was a good plan. And I unfortunately do think that she's likely going to get voted out tonight.
Well, Zan says, Christina, hang on. And I'm hoping so too. Part of me feels like she could. I feel like what most likely is going to happen tonight is, Sophie B is definitely going to steal an idol. I think we are going to see that play happen. And then I feel like one of Jawan or Sage is going to go home. I feel like that is going to be the big thing, because you've had Jawan and Sage that have been in this power position. And with the fact that, like, they've made a move against 3 people, Christina, Stephen, and Alex, who they were working with and had the chance to make a majority. I could see Savannah, Rizzo, especially them two, kind of going back and being like, why aren't we taking out Jawan or Sage? Why have we let them get this far? Because they are going to be the only people that are able to still play the middle in a way. Because like Rizzo and like Savannah is not going to want to work with Sage, but Sage still knows that she's got that thing going with Savannah that she can kind of still be like, look, I'm so more than happy to do this. And I think that is going to bite Sage or Jawan in the butt tonight. I really do think it's going to be one of them tonight. There is a couple of things that she thinks that Christina will self-evict tonight, too much pressure, which I'm very much hoping
that doesn't happen.
And Zyphon says, I'm going to feel so bad for Christina if she goes home tonight after having her idol stolen. And I agree, because I definitely think it is from a social jury management standpoint, I can see that hurting like Sophie B if she does that to Christina, because I do feel like Christina will hold it against Sophie, and I feel like Sophie will have to own that.
Oh, I didn't even really think about that aspect of it, but you're so right. That'll be such a bummer. Like, for Christina, obviously, like, I want her to keep fighting. You got it, Christina. You can do this. But then also, since I love me some Sophie B, I don't want her to like have a bitter jury against her. Yeah,
I mean, this is the thing. There is still like 4 episodes left that anything can happen. Correct. Just quickly, Zans does say, I think Sage goes before Jawan. Jawan gets around and talks to everyone, it seems. But he does think they could go the other way tonight because Jawan still needs to navigate. Those are our predictions. 10 minutes to go. Before we leave you all, first of all, thank you so much for staying with us this entire time. We have absolutely enjoyed it. We always love the pre-show because it gets us hyped, gets us ready for episode 10.
It's so fun.
But it would be remiss if I don't talk about what's coming up. So, obviously, we've been the pre-show, but tonight after the episode, make sure you come back here. So subscribe, put on the push notifications, because we are going to have the after show tonight. And Zan's put the question in, are we going to see Tori at the after show? Yes, you will. That's Tori will be there along with Josh and Bruce, as always, Bruce from 44 and 45. Tonight, though, no Abe, but they are joined by the very special guest that is Karishma from Island of the Idols. I would love to watch that live. I know Karishma is going to be amazing. So I hope, Tori, you have a fabulous time with Karishma.
I will. I'm so excited.
She always seems like a joy to talk to.
Yes.
Obviously, because it is Thanksgiving, some things have been chopped and changed around. So do not be surprised that there is going to be nothing on tomorrow. We're going to have no streams tomorrow. I will be doing a stream tomorrow, but not on Survivor Now.
Oh.
That's my little plug to say go check out Survivor Specialists
Let's
tomorrow
go.
because I will
Oh,
be joining
yes.
Phil for Digging Deeper. And then Friday, we will still have Survivor Stockwatch with Will and Josh at 1 p.m. Eastern, so make sure to check that out. And then on Sunday, you are going to have a double bill because myself and Phil will be at 5 p.m. Eastern for Got Something For Ya, and we hopefully will have a guest. We're still just confirming it, but hopefully we will. And at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will have Survivor Social, where Cara and Avery will be joined once again by Matanite, the lovely social influencer.
Yeah.
He will be there as well, chatting all things Survivor 49 episode 10. But right, we've got 8 minutes to go. I know everyone wants to go get seated and get ready for the show. Once again, like I've said, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate everyone that watches. We appreciate everyone's comments. Tori, any final words before episode 10 starts?
Just that, Ali, you're such a joy to talk to, and I love sharing the pre-show with you. You're such a good host, and we're all lucky to have you.
I mean, likewise, Tori, I love this time with you. I mean, it's so babes and buff coded, which is fine with me. But again, thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you to all of our viewers that have been watching, and that's on X, on YouTube, on Twitch, wherever you are watching it. Make sure, like I said, to come back tonight, following tonight's episode for the after show and all this week's content. But we are going to go get ready for episode 10. You should as well. And we will see you very soon.